Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's check out Diablo 3, Rise of the Necromancer. This is the PlayStation 4 Pro version. Okay, let us make a new character then. Normal hero is good. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Take a look at our options real quick. Let's see, elective mode, and enable the assigning of any skill to any skill button, display health bars, monster health bars, player names, healing numbers, damage numbers, critical damage numbers, long floating combat numbers, defensive messages, item drops, tutorials, auto equip items, advanced tool tips, enable minimap and co-op, show story objectives, bounty objectives, rarity icons or items. Oh, that's all good. We're all good here. Sounds like normal. Haven't changed that ever. Okay, let's hit the campaign.
That grows must also wither and die. What dies and rots will then nourish the living. This is the great cycle of being, and we, the priests of Rathma, use our dark art to protect it. Though most do not understand us, we go where we are needed. My master has learned that a star fell in the west, drawing the dead from their graves. He commands me to journey to Tristram and return them to their rest. For if the cycle is not upheld, it would mean the end of all things. I am near the fallen star, and the dead it raised.
This is the thing they were so proud of in the console version, adding a dodge option. But you're vulnerable throughout the whole animation. Unlike dodge systems, which are in normal console games, you have no frames of invincibility. So dodging isn't really any more useful than just moving out of the way. Good job, guys. Okay.
I have come to aid these lands. Where is the fallen star?
It fell on the old cathedral. There was only one survivor, Leah. You should speak with her.
Captain Rumpert, more dead are coming.
We can't open the gates until we drive them back.
They keep coming.
Never seen anyone fight like that before. Guards, open the gates. We find Leah at the Slaughtered Calf Inn.
Burn those corpses before they rise again.
The dead have been a bane on our existence since that cursed fire fell. We have to burn them, just to make sure they don't rise from the grave.
Rise from your grave.
I came here to study the fall of old Tristram. This is closer to the town's history than I want to be.
Zakharum has fallen to disgrace. By the grace of the ancients, may your soul be warmed and brought to glory in righteousness.
I promised Marco I'd protect him, but now he's dead. Nothing ever seems to change in New Tristram, does it?
Why do you say that?
There's always some threat of the risen dead or foul evil descending on the town, isn't there?
Don't you dare lift a finger to
Some heroes are fighting each other in an area near here. Wanna go? Oh, and you didn't hear about it from me. Afraid of damaging your armor or weapons? That won't happen over there. In fact, no one even dies. Disappointing, really.
The dead, rising from their graves. This must be the end of the world. Your cart is in the way.
How dare you speak to me like that? I am the mayor of this town.
Then why are you standing here, idle?
Are you mad? This town is doomed. Anyone with a grain of sense should be trying to get out. Will you help me or not?
No.
Tristram used to be such a wonderful place to live. My family has been here since the town grew out of the ruins of old Tristram. But now, it's horrible. The loved ones we've buried and grieved over now threaten our lives.
For many years, villagers were too afraid to settle near the ruins of the cursed town Tristram. But as time went by, adventurers arrived to loot the old cathedral, and their business was profitable enough that New Tristram sprang up to accommodate them. Fewer travelers visit now, though, and the town is mostly populated by craftsmen and farmers.
Have you come to help us? The other adventurers who came through here didn't look so deadly.
I don't care what anyone says. That thing that fell from the sky was no rock. A rock doesn't cause the dead to leave their graves.
Are you Leah? Did you survive the fallen star?
I did. But it blasted my uncle Deckard Cain into the depths of the old cathedral. I tried to search for him, but the dead were already rising. I came back here to rally the militia, but...
Watch out! The wounded are turning!
Killing business.
The dead will overwhelm us all, unless something is done.
Yes, that is why I am here.
Thank you. You should speak with Captain Rumford at the gate. He can tell you what to do. We've been under siege for 6 days now. Uncle Deckard is still missing. Captain Rumford and the others are losing hope. I tell them not to lose faith, but if help doesn't arrive soon...
16 militiamen went out. Only Rumford came back.
I will bring peace to the risen dead.
I admire your courage, but Captain Dalton and the militia were slaughtered by those things. Only I survived.
I have experience in these matters.
Well, I have seen you fight. Strike at the wretched mothers and their queen. They're the ones vomiting out these horrors.
They're attacking the barricades!
That's one of the wretched mothers. There are more of them in the ruins down the road.
So the PC and the PlayStation version look very similar, but some slight differences here and there. Obviously, the controls and the menus are completely different. I'd say for the better, actually.
Has grown.
I'm not into this guy. Thing isn't that fun to use.
And his wife have offered to let me and grandmother continue to stay with them. I think we will, now that the troubles are over. I am still tormented by horrific nightmares. I keep hoping they will fade, but they seem to be getting stronger.
Exploring a cave with hopes of finding hidden treasure, I came upon a most grisly sight. A heap of dead bodies. Unbelievably, as I was searching them for any items of value, they began to rise. I must tell them of this in New Tristram before it's too late.
chests. Something to treasure.
Yeah, notice you can destroy more objects in this this version. I don't know why they made it so limiting in the PC one. It's one of the most fun things to do. And the game is pretty dull, you know, on most accounts. So yeah. The less fun, more fun things to do, the better.
Old Tristram. Diablo once walked his land.
Ultra strong monsters. Not into it at all. Stun seems to work a lot more. PC one too. Kind of interesting. The sound is a little bit more aggressive too, because I didn't give a whole lot of separation. I get quite a bit of it in this console version. And even though the inventory screen is all by itself and not real-time management like, or not a sub-screen, I guess I should say, another window like on the PC version, I think it ends up working out much better.
Thank you for your help, but could you talk some sense into Leah? She won't give up on the idea of rescuing her uncle.
Interesting. If he lives, his knowledge could prove useful. I will help you find your uncle, Leah.
We'll need to open the cathedral first. The guards locked it up before they were ambushed. Rumford told me they fought their way back to Adria's hut. The key must still be there.
And of course I don't get those regular spots of...
being in Uncle Deckard's room when he's not here.
I get the regular spots of pausing here and there to access the hard drive.
We have come at last to Tristram's old cathedral. This is where Diablo, Lord of Terror, first corrupted mankind.
Diablo?
This is where I may finally find the answers I seek. Leah worries after my safety, but I believe information vital to defeating the last lords of the burning hells can be found here.
I'm pretty sure they call him Diablo.
This is my room. Do you like it? A miracle has happened. A hero, like one out of Uncle Deckard's tales, appeared and saved us. I know in my heart that my uncle still lives, and I pray that the hero will bring him home safely.
We could talk to all these people, but they're just useless banter.
Here, let me open the gate. Adria was my mother, but I don't know much about her. She died when I was very young. I was raised by Uncle Deckard.
How did you know your father?
I'm told he was a great warrior who was lost when Tristram fell to the demons. People said she was a witch, but I never believed it. Captain Dalton!
I'm actually useless that a little bit. And again, it's not Bayonetta. Nor is it meant to be. More efficient just to move away than to use this roll, so I don't know. I seemed really proud of it, and it was like one of the sticky points that they couldn't put in the PC version, which didn't allow for controller support. I'm just like, really? It's such a lame excuse.
Here's the key, and my mother's journal. What I've seen of it is disturbing. I want to know more about her, but that can wait. We need to save Uncle Deckard first.
Leave that to me. You'd best stay and learn what you can.
Thank you.
Me last night. I suspected what was lurking within his troubled heart. I consoled him as best I could. Regardless, wherever he's headed, hell will surely follow in his wake. The shadows close in on Tristram once again. But like Aiden, I'll be gone before they fall.
For a long time, Uncle Deckard avoided coming back to this place. There were a lot of ghosts here for him. This is where Diablo drove old King Leoric mad and terrorized the people. I don't know what really happened here, but whatever it was horrible. Nearly everyone who survived went mad.
How did your mother die?
Well, details are hazy, but I know that Adria was obsessed with chasing the arcane. She knew she could never raise a child. Uncle Deckard believes that the madness and horror of her life finally caught up with her.
Seems harder in the console version. That's good though. Again, the game is at least on the first set of difficulties is pretty easy, and it takes probably 2 or 3 difficulties more, or actually it takes beating the game to kind of significantly increase the difficulty to where it's a little bit more challenging. I thought I was curious that this game didn't allow you to move the camera. Seems like one of those very, very basic things to make in a 3D game, but not so much in this one. Probably too much work for them, I would assume.
Ganon, and I'm cursed. Once the captain of King the Oryx army. I lived only to honor my land and my king. No man has a greater love for his king than I had for mine, even as I drove my blade through his dark and corrupted heart.
Trapped here. Akarat, save me.
Yeah, you can see how much different this game was from my PC experience.
Foul minions, stay back! Back! May this web the Skeleton King.
The power of the fallen star awakened me, and soon all will suffer as I have suffered. Gods, bring me his bones!
Stay back! Thank you, but why did you risk yourself for me?
I believe we can aid each other. Your niece told me you were here.
Oh, it is wonderful to hear that Leah is well. I feared the worst. I learned of this secret passage through old maps I found.
Oh, I'm so old. I can't believe how old I sound. Oh, 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 oh.
We must discuss the fallen star. Follow me to Tristram.
I have found Leah's uncle, Deckard Cain. He was pursued by a creature called the Skeleton King, who blocks the path to the fallen star.
Uncle, you're alive!
Thanks to you and your friend here.
Friend, I am not often called that. But I wish to know more about the fallen star.
The prophecy of the end days surely points to it as a sign that the end has begun.
Please, Uncle, not more of your stories. All that matters now is that you're back.
My insight grows.
Deckard is home, rescued from the clutches of the Skeleton King. I'm so glad. But the Skeleton King, I thought he was a folktale. The idea of Mad King Leoric returning to torture this place. Hasn't Tristram suffered enough?
So this is how it ends? They dragged my cart from the road, but for what? I can't get it repaired. Might as well dig a hole and die in it.
You would not be alone. Many have died before their time here.
I've spent most of my life traveling from place to place with Uncle Deckard, while he did his crazy research.
It seems reasonable enough to me.
He's convinced that the forces of hell will invade our world and bring about the end times. All these years, he's still searching for a way to stop this apocalypse.
The Skeleton King was once our beloved lord, Leoric. He was driven mad by Diablo's evil. He lost both of his sons and his very soul before he was finally defeated. Now it seems he's risen to plague this land once again.
I will find a way to lay him to rest.
The key to defeating him lies in his old crown. Seek out our blacksmith, Hadrig. He knows of its whereabouts. Leia, you should not dismiss the signs so lightly. Do you not believe the evidence of your own eyes?
Horrors have visited Tristram before, and it endured.
But what of the texts? The Zakharum tomes warn of a falling star. The Herodric scroll spoke of the dead rising, and the Lord of Lies, the prophecy of the end days, says that at the end of all things, the first sign shall appear in the heavens.
Yes, you've been telling me about the texts since I was 8 years old, Uncle. I just don't think we should read too much into them.
I am the last of the Herodrim. I couldn't always claim this. In fact, if I had turned to the Herodric teachings sooner, Diablo could have been stopped before his reign of terror began.
That seems unlikely.
When the first signs appeared, I did nothing. I had shrugged the old tales off like they were so much fantasy, and Tristram, no, the world, has paid dearly for my arrogance. I have tried to make up for my failings. Leia and I have spent her lifetime scouring the world, collecting pieces of the prophecy of the end days. If I can decipher it, we will have the key to defeating the Lords of Hell.
You and Leia depend on each other.
I do not know what my life would have been like had I not raised her. Oh, it must have been difficult for Leia, following an old man on a mad search for the secrets to defeating the Lords of the Burning Hells. But though she has seen her share of mysterious things, she is still unsure of my quest. I can understand. She has never seen anything like Diablo and his brothers. The prophecy of the end days is contained within the Herodric tomes I inherited from my ancestor, Jared Kane. It is a warning to those who could interpret it regarding Hell's ultimate invasion of our world, written by many different people throughout history, in many different lands. All known versions of the prophecy are incomplete. I have spent a good part of the past 20 years trying to complete it. I am certain it holds the answers to defeating the Lords of Hell.
What happened to Tristram's king?
Leoric resisted Diablo's attempts to possess him, but the effort left him weak and confused. When his son Albrecht was kidnapped to be a vessel for Diablo, it destroyed any sanity Leoric had left.
And so he became the Skeleton King.
He commanded an army of the dead deep within the cathedral, finally serving the Lord of Terror he had resisted while alive. Many adventurers tried and failed to slay the Skeleton King. It was left to Leoric's eldest son, Aiden, to finally kill the monster his father had become.
What did you learn of Adria?
She wasn't from Tristram originally. She came here during the Troubles. She was in search of something, but I'm not sure what. She reminds me of Uncle Deckard, obsessed with the war between angels and demons.
I have some new items that I'm certain you'll love.
Don't touch anything unless you're buying it. I like to keep my inventory clean. Leah spent all night alongside the blacksmith's wife, tending the wounded.
What? She was out defending the gates this morning. What is driving that woman?
Chelsea, how sweet of you to ask. My people, the Vetchin, are nomads, always traveling, looking for the land we might settle. All of us have the sight, but few have it as strong as myself. You know, men have always pursued me for my visions. Well, for things other than my visions. But everyone wants to know what the future holds.
My duty is my future.
So serious. Just because you're fated to save the world doesn't mean you shouldn't have a good time. The world is constantly renewing itself, eternally playing out the same events over and over again. We can merely play our parts.
What are you trying to say?
I speak clearly. Do not blame me for the state of your mind.
You are the blacksmith, aren't you? I have a request.
Not now. It's my wife. She's locked in the cellar like all those who've been bitten. I'm to put them all down. But how can I kill my own wife?
Death is a path all must tread. Allow me to help.
Thank you. Follow me.
Don't tell anyone, but I've got some new items you really should see. Look, I'm happy to sell to you, but you got to promise not to tell anyone where you got these goods from, okay?
I'm sorry.
Do not apologize. You grow in peace.
Forgive me.
Hedrig! Help me!
I couldn't have done this without you. I'm in your debt. My name is Hedrig Aemon.
There is a way you could repay me. I seek the crown of King Leoric.
I can help you there. It's buried with his chancellor, my grandfather. You'll find his tomb in a cemetery in the Weeping Hollow. And if you see my fool apprentice out there, tell him to get back to town.
You think you're some type of hero, here to save us all. The dead will feast on your bones as easily as they will ours.
Ah, very interesting topic. I sell jewels.
I see. Where are you from?
Xiangsai. Great families, war in the streets, political intrigue, and bottomless wells of treachery around every corner.
You don't have to tell me stories. I prefer the truth.
Truth? Never touch the stuff. You are very brave to venture outside the town gates. I hear there are all sorts of dangerous things crawling around out there.
I have no fear of the risen dead.
Oh, that's terrible. I only meant the rats and snakes. I do like this Descartes Kane fellow. It's rare that I can find someone I have so much in common with.
What could you possibly be referring to?
We both had rather interesting experiences with the Zakharum priestesses in our youth, so... Would you know, there's nothing in the world quite so perfect as jewels. They have color, size, shape, transparency.
It seems you're obsessed with them.
Oh yes, if only I could eat them, I would need nothing else in life. Not that you can't. I hear some people even shape certain crystals atop their food.
Alright, why don't we stop it there? This is audap watching Diablo 3 Rise of the Necromancer. It's just one character for $15. Anyway, hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.